Look, y'all, we are looking at a Chiefs Ravens AFC Championship game, but this time the Chiefs got to go on the road to try to find their way into the Super Bowl. What is going to happen? What's the breakdown? How are we feeling? Not only me, but I got a very special guest, and after break, you guys will see this person. I got a very special guest today to talk about the Chiefs side of things. All right, I can't be impartial here. Okay, I can't be impartial. I know usually it's all Ravens, but today we're gonna do a little bit of Chiefs to kind of even it out because it's gonna be. This is set to be game of the weekend. It's gonna be a must see. It's gonna be a must tune in. All right, welcome into Flock Nation Speaks. Flock Nation Speaks. Flock Nation Speaks. Your Baltimore Ravens podcast, where we talk about the best team in NFL history. If you're a Ravens fan, I am a huge Joe Flacco fan. Wise Usher once said, "Situations will arise in our lives." I'm talking about shut down. Like you not throwing on Jimmy Smith. Joe is criminally underrated. Criminally, like lock him up in cuffs. Criminally underrated. Lamar's put this team as a top 5 offense for the first time in 20 years. Got the arm talent. Jay Cutler had it too. I don't care about this argument against total TDs and all this. Oh, you want to talk about defense? Oh, until next time. All right, welcome in to Flock Nation Speaks, your Baltimore Ravens podcast, where we talk about the best team in NFL history. If you're a Ravens fan, of course. And, of course, my guy over here, good old Juggernaut 097. I know Miss Justin. Y'all know Miss Juggernaut 097. But he is here to give us a little bit of Chiefs analysis, okay? To kind of even things up a little bit, because the AFC Championship game is coming up on Sunday. I don't know why they didn't do it as the late game. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there.
We had the better game.
Hey.
To be honest, I want the game to happen right now because, I'm just so anxious, waiting for the game. I hate, playoff time. There's nothing we had the regular season, okay, and we got games on all day, but now we gotta wait till 2-3 o'clock for the game to come on. And it's it just gives me so much anxiety. Do you ever feel that way during playoff time?
I feel like especially during playoff time, you're just ready for the game, right? You're just ready. It's funny how they always post like 1 more sleep, 2 more sleeps, all that stuff, right? Because you're just ready. You're just anxious. You're excited for the game. I think you're more excited for the game, not necessarily even for the result, but just to get it started, to get it going, and get kickoff going. I think that's the funnest part about it. You're just like, man, let's go. Like, it's the AFC Championship game. We ready to get on to the next one. Like, we ready for all of this. I feel the same way. It's the playoffs. I always say it, like, the playoffs are one of those times where it's just like, it's a lot of fun. It's the one and done aspect of it gives it that even more of an edge, right, over some of the other sporting events out there because like your season hinges on this game, right? Your season hinges on this game. So
like one mistake you do can be costly to your season.
Exactly. And that's the thing about it, man. Like, like you said, and I think that's gonna bring us into the preview of the game. When we talk about the things that have to be done to win this game for each respective pieces here. So for me, I'm starting out for me, I think number one, it's gonna be a good game. I think it's gonna be a good game. I think if the Ravens can get going early, that's going to be the biggest thing. Because the biggest issue with the Ravens lately against the Chiefs, especially in those losses, was they got down too early, right? They got down and that was it. Like, they got down and it was just hard to come back. And then Patrick Mahomes will make one more big play and end the game, right? Every single time, especially those regular season matchups that we've seen where, I think the Ravens were like 0-2, 0-3 against the Chiefs before they finally beat them. And it was just because there was one final play where the defense couldn't get off the field, especially if the offense got down early. So I think the Ravens need to come out and jump up on them first things first. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. I think offensively you got to play a clean game, and I think defensively you got to force turnovers from a team that don't really turn the ball over that much, right? Like that's going to be the biggest thing. And if you can't force turnovers, you got to force them to nickel and dime. You don't let the big plays happen and stuff like that. But I will say, and I don't know how you feel about this, Justin, and I'll let you take over right here, but I do think the biggest Ravens advantage is a Chiefs disadvantage right now because I feel like the Chiefs not having Tyreek Hill that was a lot of the reason why the Chiefs was winning those games was because Tyreek Hill was simply unguardable and unguardable from the line of scrimmage, but also unguardable after you gave Patrick Mahomes so much time. The Ravens couldn't sack anybody either back then, so it was so
And
much different.
it also took it also when people were focusing on Tyreek Hill, so it got Travis Kelsey open, so it
That's true.
opened the field up more.
Yep.
So yeah, you do have a good point there because we don't have that that fast that track star anymore. Like we can't zoom past like our wide receivers haven't been doing that great this year. But I mean, our defense we have had one of the best defenses this whole year. This is probably the best defense I ever seen the Chiefs have for a long time. You know what they say? Defense wins championships. I don't know. Maybe
but
maybe
I'm
I'm maybe I'm talking too early.
but you say that, but the Ravens got a far better defense than the Chiefs got right now. So,
Yeah.
the Ravens lead the league in sacks. I don't know if they lead the league in turnovers, but they right up there with anybody. They're gonna force you to turn the ball over, or they're gonna force you to at least get uncomfortable. And I think that's gonna be something we haven't seen Mahomes have to deal with is being uncomfortable because he can move, right? It seems like his receivers always tend to get open, right? The scheme is always good. So the Ravens gonna have to force Mahomes to be uncomfortable. They got to. I think that's gonna be the biggest thing defensively is he has to be uncomfortable. Same thing you did with C.J. Stroud last week. Like C.J. Stroud was trying to nickel and dime the Ravens down the field, but the Texans are known for those big plays, right? The Texans are absolutely known for those big plays. So because they're known for big plays, that's why the Ravens gonna have to slow them down, right? That's why they had to slow the Texans down. That's the same way they got to slow the Chiefs down. The Chiefs are known for hitting you fast, giving it out to Pacheco, letting him go. Bye. I'll see you later, right? Like Pacheco is gonna be a guy who you're gonna have to look at and be like, oh man, like we gotta stop that guy, right? Because Pacheco kind of gives y'all a little bit of everything from the running back position, and probably something you guys don't really haven't felt like y'all had. I mean, you might could say Kareem Hunt, but I don't even think Kareem Hunt was nearly as versatile. So how
No,
you
Kareem Hunt was not as versatile.
yeah, how you feeling on the Chiefs end of things? Like, what do you feel like the Chiefs have to do to win this game?
See, our offensive line is going to play really good. Like you mentioned, how what's the Ravens what's their defense ranked? It's like it's top up there. We're gonna have to our O line is going to have to play really good. Um, I think our running game, with Pacheco, he's gonna have to get some wide open holes, because I don't think we're definitely not gonna beat you guys down the field. We're definitely not gonna beat you guys that way. So, and also Patrick Mahomes, he's definitely going to need to be, he's probably going to have to scramble a lot, try to get a lot of first downs that way. You might see a couple big plays from Patrick, but I mean, it's going to be nothing crazy. And also Chris Jones on our defense, our defense is going to have to play really good. Chris Jones is going to have to get to Lamar Jackson.
What
Like,
my question is, so let me ask you, if
mhm.
let's say Patrick Mahomes can't get his big playoff, how do you think that bodes for the Chiefs?
I don't think it's going to be very good for the Chiefs because like we're going to need you to hold you I think under 20 points or like somewhere around that margin in order to beat you guys
Okay.
because it's definitely going to be you guys have a great offense, you guys are going to be scoring a lot, so we need to hold you under 20 points.
Okay. And I mean, that's the thing about it too. Like in the playoffs lately, it feels like the Ravens haven't been able to do that. But I think everybody can tell this is a whole completely different Ravens offense than we've ever seen. When you talk about weapons, you talk about guys who can make a play. It's funny. I think I was watching my guy, the mass commentator today, and he was talking about how, you know, basically the Ravens receiving core is not technically probably great. But I will say, like, I feel like the Ravens do it by committee, right? A lot of teams do running back by committee. The Ravens do that too. But the Ravens do kind of wide receiver by committee. You don't know who's going to beat you, right? You don't know if it's going to be Bate this game. You don't know if it's going to be Odell. You don't know if it's going to be one of the tight ends with likely and Andrews. Andrews should be back this week too. So you don't know about that. That's the biggest thing. Like with the Ravens, Aguilar can go off. Of course, Zay can go off. We know that, right? Like you don't know who it's going to be. You don't know who's going to be the guy in the game, and I think that's so hard to defend. I really do. I think that's so hard to defend. So, I want to jump into this. So we're gonna get into some X factors and all that here in a little bit too. But I want to get into something that was said by the Kansas City Chiefs. We're gonna play a little video real quick. I want to
It
get.
was actually said by me. I'm the one who said it. I
Was
told
it
them to
okay?
say it.
So you was on it, like you. I mean, you was the one. You put the message out there for them. You said, "Hey, man, this is what we gonna have to do. You okay? This. We can't be doing all the shucking and jiving because we can't dance. That's what it is. They can't dance. They hate. They hate. But we gonna let me play this clip real quick for you. I'm sure you guys have all seen it, but just in case you haven't, I'm gonna pull it up so you guys can watch it along with us.
We're gonna enjoy this one like son of a buddy.
I think I'm a little bit too far here. Hold up.
Hey! In case you didn't know, we got another one next week. Let's go. Hey, listen, no dancing today. Right? No dancing today. We got more to do, right?
Yes, sir.
More to do.
Yes, sir.
But you know what? We're gonna enjoy this one like son of a buddy.
All right, I'm gonna pause it right there because that was the main part I wanted to get. He said, and it's interesting. Shout out to Matt who had helped me out and helping me finding this here. But he said, was that a shot at John? Kind of being like, hey, the Ravens been dancing the past couple weeks or so. Was that a shot at John? Of course they got their whole friendly banner too because John, of course, comes from the Andy Reid tree and all that. But it's just interesting to me to see that, right? Because I mean, I feel like it was a little shot, like subtle. It was kind of, nothing. I don't think it was disrespectful. I think it was subtle. Like these are two of the top teams going at it. You gonna say some words, but I'll be honest with you. You don't want to get into a talking match with the Ravens. I'll tell you that. Because regardless, they're gonna put it out on the field. What you think of that? Would you I mean, I'm sure you've seen the moves and everything. Like the Ravens been hitting them. You know what I mean? They've been hitting all kinds of stuff. But what you think?
Unlike you,
Unlike me, I don't, I'm not a dancer. I hit a move every once in a while, but I ain't no dancer or nothing. But Justin, what did you think about this? Like, did you think this was kind of like just friendly competition banner type thing, or this is something to really look into and this gonna bleed out into the field?
I think it's kind of friendly competition. I don't think it's like anything like too serious. I mean, maybe it might be on for the Ravens. Maybe it might be otherwise. Because they, because the Chiefs have their number. We got your number in that regular season.
Okay.
And also another thing I got to mention. People will be like, oh, can the Chiefs do it on the road? We had to go into Buffalo. We won in Buffalo. Like, I don't think that's like really the case. To like really be saying, oh, can Patrick Mahomes do it on the road? I mean, this seems like this another day in the office for Patrick Mahomes. Like it just seems like him in the regular season. It just doesn't seem any different to me. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a lot louder. It's going to be harder for him to get the plays off. With that Baltimore crowd, but. Yeah, I mean, they could definitely do it on the road. I mean, we went into Buffalo, which Buffalo, those fans over there, they're ruthless.
Yeah, they are. You're not concerned at all about the Chiefs playing on the road? And more so, I'm talking about the Chiefs playing in kind of the weather they played in too the last couple of weeks, right? And you going against probably the most physical team in the NFL with the Ravens. So, you're not concerned at all with that, with how the weather, even from previous weeks, may lean over into this game.
And I'm not really too concerned about the weather because, we had to play in negative 45-degree weather in Kansas City. So,
but you don't think that's y'all still worn down from those negative temperatures?
I mean, they could be. I think could be a little banged up, so that could get us a little bit there, especially being there in Baltimore. Yeah, so it could definitely be an X factor there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I feel like too with this game, coming up. Like, I find it interesting. Like, it it begs the question because of what the Chiefs have done, right? And the Chiefs have been there, done that, been to who knows what has it been, like five straight AFC
Five
Championship
straight
games,
AFC Championship games, and it's all
right?
been at Arrowhead
And it's
Stadium.
all been at Arrowhead. They've been in five. They've been in five straight. They almost went to three straight Super Bowls, right? Like a team that's won two. Do you feel like the Ravens are actually an underdog in this game because of the Chiefs' pedigree?
I really don't. I don't think we're the under. I don't think the Ravens are the underdog. I think they're
Okay.
because you guys have the number one seed. You guys are playing at home. We're down. We don't have a number one wide receiver. You guys have clearly the better offense than us. But then again, but Patrick, he's that goat. He's doing all those State Farm commercials. He's a guy, and also we got Taylor Swift over there, which I'm
Hey,
not a
the
big Taylor Swift
Swifties,
fan. We got
you
them
got the
Swifties over
Swifties.
there.
But okay, so but by that logic, my other question is, if you don't think, and I get it, it's any given Sunday, anything can happen, but if you think that the Ravens are favored, right? The Ravens have the
Mhm.
better offense going up against that defense. The Ravens obviously have the better defense. What makes you think that the Chiefs can beat the Ravens? Just from a not only from just I'm talking about from a fan perspective, like from what you've seen time and time again. Like what makes is it just that you feel like the Chiefs have the Ravens number a little bit, or is it deeper than that?
I feel like it's deeper than that. Well, actually, no. I feel like no. We have their number. I feel like we could put Lamar Jackson into those uncomfortable, positions. Maybe like what we did with Josh Allen last week. Maybe the Ravens maybe make a mistake or two. Maybe the ball ends up maybe something happens. Ends up coming our way. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like there's something that can go lucky. If
I
we
think
if we get lucky with that, yeah.
I think I trust the Ravens more playing a clean game. Like
Mm-hmm.
if let's say both teams play clean games, right? Let's play
Mm-hmm.
let's say both teams, play pretty much lights out. They play clean, right? I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
they score every possession or whatever, but let's just say like there's no turnovers each way. I feel like I trust the Ravens defense a little bit more because they've had an ability to slow people down. And
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I expect them to turn the Chiefs over or at least get sacks or something because they're top sack team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said before, one of the top turnover teams in the league.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I mean, like I said, it's an even matchup. It's a fun matchup. We said it
Mm-hmm.
before. This should be the late game because I think this is. I mean, I don't want to say it's a better matchup because the Lions 49ers matchup, literally, I've been saying it all week, is a flip of the coin type of a matchup. But still, it's just tough. I do want to ask you, who do you feel like should have a big game? Like who do you think on the Chiefs side? Let's start with the offense first. Offensively, who do you think on the Chiefs side has to have a big game?
Um, I feel like Travis Kelsey. We're gonna really have to get him open, give him the ball a lot. I know Pacheco. I think because our run game has been this is what has been one of the best run games we had like for a very very long time. So I feel like Pacheco was going to do good, but I feel like we need to get Travis Kelsey open, like get him open down the middle of the field, do all that. So yeah, I'm gonna say Travis Kelsey on offense and getting him open.
Okay, I I would echo that if I was going to give a Chiefs thought. I mean, I would say Kelsey, but I think Kelsey more than likely
Hmm.
Kelsey just if I'm the Chiefs, I have the confidence in Kelsey to get his right. So I would honestly say Pacheco probably right. The Ravens are pretty stout against the run. They've
Hmm.
done a good job of shutting down running backs throughout the whole season, and even if they kind of bend, they're not going to break. So I mean, I would kind of even lean towards Pacheco, but for the Ravens side of things, offensively, and feel free to give yours if you want as well.
Hmm.
Outside of Lamar Jackson, of course, I mean, I think he has to be Superman like he always is. But offensively, I will say probably one of the receivers, right? Because to me, that's the difference in the game. I mean, there's plenty of differences, right? But that's the big, major, glaring difference in the previous Chiefs games. The
You
Ravens
said
just didn't.
which receiver? Who do you think goes off?
I think it's gonna have to be. I'm gonna give two. I like to cheat sometimes, so I'm gonna cheat real quick. I'm gonna give two. I would say either Zay Flowers or Odell, right? Because Odell's been there and done that. He's a guy you got to respect until he proves to you why you shouldn't respect him. And then Zay because he can break any play for anything, right? So I think those are the two guys receiver wise that I think kind of have to be X factors. Now, of course, I think Bateman's gonna have his catches. Aguilar might have his catches, but those two guys previously stated, I think, are the guys who you kind of you gonna have on your play card to say like, yeah, we got to watch out for those guys, but they still, regardless of that, have to have big games. I think because that's the difference. Like for me, the difference between the Ravens now and the Ravens then and the Ravens now is the receiver room. The receiver room is far better than it's ever been, right? It doesn't mean it's perfect. It's just better than it's been, right? So, I mean, you got, you know, going back even so far as like the Titans game, you had drops in that game, right? The Chargers game, you had drops in those games, right? So this receiving core is better because they don't drop the ball. They're going to make big plays. They can produce yards after the catch. And that's something that's been missing in Baltimore for a very, very long time. So defensively, do you want me to start or you want to start? Did you have an offensive one for the Ravens or you want to go defensive?
I agree. Yeah, I'm gonna echo what you said there, like with Zay Flowers or OBJ. Yeah, I would say those two would be because Zay Flowers, he's very like he can go off. Yeah, so I agree with that. But as far as defense for my Chiefs, we'll say Chris Jones. He's our one of our best defensive players. Also, yeah, I have to say big Chris Jones.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. Like I feel like Chris Jones would have to make Lamar uncomfortable, and not even necessarily Lamar, because of course Lamar can escape. It feels like just about anything. So he's
like
got to make the
Houdini.
offensive line. You know what I mean? He's got to make the offensive line uncomfortable. And yes, he is like Houdini. But yeah, he's got to make the offensive line uncomfortable. He's got to blow some people up and continue to show why he is who he is, a future Hall of Famer. Defensively for the Ravens, I don't know if this should be a surprise. I don't think it's going to be a surprise, especially for Ravens flock. But I'm gonna go Kyle Hamilton, right? Like if another guy who is a different piece than the Ravens have had to defend Travis Kelce. Now, will he take him out of the game? No. Can he limit his impact a little bit? I think so. No matter how good Travis Kelce is, I think he can make him uncomfortable. I think he can maybe show him a little bit more of a physicality than Travis Kelce might be used to. Knock him off his routes a little bit and stuff like that, and just be physical with him. And Travis Kelce hasn't faced a guy like Kyle Hamilton yet, I don't think. So I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be an X factor in a variety of ways, not only defending Travis Kelce, but if he, rushes the passer or, blows up a screen, stuff like that, like he's going to have to be on it, I think, is for the Ravens to play well. So how you feeling about the MVP race? How you feeling about the MVP race? I know we got our 5 finalists for the MVP race. So I'm gonna read them out to you guys, and then I'll let Justin give his thoughts on the MVP. Of course, everybody knows like I'm going Lamar Jackson. I mean, I'll give another option just to have a little fun with it, but yeah, I would go Lamar Jackson, but of course, Ravens Lamar Jackson, 49ers Christian McCaffrey, 49ers Brock Purdy, Bills Josh Allen, and Cowboys Dak Prescott. What you think, Justin?
I can tell you who is not gonna. Josh Allen and Dak Prescott. No. It's either between Brock Purdy or Lamar Jackson. Which I mean, Brock Purdy, his stats have been like really good this year. I think he has like one of the best QBRs. This year he doesn't really turn the ball over a lot. I don't. This is tough. But then again, I think the Ravens. They have the better quarterback. I don't know. I feel like I'm going leaning towards Lamar Jackson here. This would be his second ring, if I'm not his second ring. Or second MVP.
Yeah, second MVP. Yeah,
second MVP,
which he is going to put in a box in the back of his closet until he wins the Super Bowl MVP. I think so.
I think it's going to be Lamar Jackson. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to go with.
So I do want to give an option for those of you who think I'm a homer and just think Lamar Jackson's the MVP, but he is, so there's no real reason for me doing this. But just to play devil's advocate and have a little fun with y'all, I'm gonna do it anyway. All right, so I would go Christian McCaffrey, right? Like for a running back to even be in this conversation, I think is huge within itself. A running back in a passing league, a running back who has conformed his game, and I mean I don't even want to say conformed his game. He's kind of conformed the game of the league because this is what his game has always been to this passing league, and he is so valuable to that team. And he can beat you in so many different ways. He had a streak of so many touchdowns. It's like 25 to 30 touchdowns straight or something like that. Like, I mean, he's a guy who you got a game plan for him, and it doesn't really matter that you have a game plan for him. So I mean, Christian McCaffrey's a guy who I think definitely deserves it in the same way that I thought Derrick Henry deserved it when he had a 2,000-yard season. But that is just me. Do you want to give a score prediction for? I know you're a big score prediction guy. I suck at score predictions, but I will try my best.
Yeah, I'm not the best at score predictions. But here, okay, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say, okay, I'm being biased here, but we got to be biased here. So I'm going to say Ravens 17, Chiefs. I'm going to say 21. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a close game.
Oh, goodness. No, nobody clip this, okay? Just don't do it. Don't do it to me. Don't clip this, all right? Nobody. Don't y'all be clipping stuff, all right? I'm about to say something.
I'm about to clip it.
I'm about to say something, and y'all gonna be mad at me. Not Ravens flag, y'all gonna be cool with me, but the Chiefs fans out there are gonna be mad at me. All right, that's what I'm going with. All right, listen to me. I'm going 31-17.
Jesus.
31-17.
I
want to go 31-10, but I feel like the Chiefs offense is still really good, and it's going to be hard to stop regardless of how good the Ravens defense is. But I think the Ravens defense, from what I've seen from them, the first possession, they're going to be on that bus of struggles. All right, that's just how it's going to be. Right, the first possession, they're going to be still trying to figure stuff out, still trying to figure out your keys, still trying to figure out why is he going over there right now? Why is that signal that way? Why is he looking at me upside down? Like they're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff to figure out what's going on. But after that first possession, they tend to lock in, right? 17 is generous, I think. But I think that's how much respect I got for the Chiefs and how good their offense is. So that's how I'm feeling about that. That's how I feel.
I just feel like it's gonna be a closer game. But then again, this game can go either way. Like I said, this one mistake from either team can be very costly here.
Yeah.
I say that because usually these Chiefs and Ravens games have been, at least between like one score games. So I feel like that's gonna be the case here. Patrick Mahomes, like if he can keep us in the game, at least between one score. Something magical could happen. Never doubt Patrick Mahomes out, and say that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to go in with some hope, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we lose here, because like and also there's this conspiracy theory going around, with the whole people saying everything is so scripted with the Super Bowl, like people talk about the logo, how they're saying the logo is like purple and red. So they're saying it's going to be 49ers, Ravens. I don't believe any of that stuff. I don't believe in any of this conspiracy stuff. What's your thoughts on that?
On the conspiracy, the conspiracy theory stuff, easy for me to say. I feel like I don't necessarily agree with it either. I think it's the same thing as the NFL being scripted, right? Like I get it. The NFL wants to make money, and the way to make money is to put I don't know, hear me out here, Dallas in the Super Bowl, but they don't. So so
America's team.
Considering Dallas and the Steelers haven't met in the Super Bowl, and it probably would be the most watched Super Bowl we've ever seen because of the fan bases. And the fan bases and also the people who hate the Cowboys enough to come cheer for the Steelers and say the Steelers are going to win, and the Steelers haters who hate the Steelers enough to come cheer for the Cowboys. I mean, you'd break records with that Super Bowl, but it's not. It hasn't happened. And
then there's this whole thing going around, like with, because I saw like a funny meme or funny picture, like showed the Lions and the Chiefs, Super Bowl. Taylor Swift going up against Eminem. Dude, that'd be crazy. Both of them,
Rap
both of them in
battle.
the same rap battle. Yes, both of them in the same building. Oh my
Mhm.
god, dude, that'd be crazy. In Las Vegas.
We can, that'd be great. Honestly, like I'd love to see it either in Kansas City or Detroit next regular season. That'd be great. That's all I'm saying. That'd be
Yeah,
that'd be wonderful. But let's real quick before we wrap up, I want to ask you about this the NFC Championship game. So who
yeah.
you personally think the Chiefs will play in the Super Bowl? Who I personally think the Ravens will play in the Super Bowl. So we got Detroit at the San Francisco 49ers. I've been a Detroit Lions hater for far too long this season, unfortunately. And they are proving me wrong time and time again. But you know what? I'm gonna stick with the hate, all right, because they've been rallying. I think they've been putting my quotes on their bulletin board so they can keep winning the whole season. That's at least what I'm gonna tell myself. But anyway, I will say, in Detroit, if y'all watching out there, be sure to subscribe while you at it, because you might as well. You know what I mean? But I will say, I think the San Francisco 49ers are gonna win this game. Right. I just think I think it's one of those situations, and it's tough too, because I kind of broke it down, and I think it almost made me feel like I should go with the Lions, right? Because I'm like, the coaches almost cancel each other out. You got a really good offensive coach, a really good defensive coach, right? Really good gritty defensive coach, and they kind of cancel each other out. They both got good offenses. They both got good defenses. So in that case, I got to go to the quarterback I trust the most. And I'm gonna be honest, I trust Jared Goff more than I trust Brock Purdy.
Mr. Irrelevant.
So I mean, I feel like I just feel like this is a coin flip game, man. It could literally go either way. Like it could literally go either way. But but my other thought process was too. I've seen Jared Goff look really uncomfortable in a couple of games, and it's been against defenses like San Francisco.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why I'm going with San Francisco to win this game. What do you think about the NFC Championship game? Who do you think is going to face the Chiefs, in your opinion?
You made some really good points. Like you made some good points for both teams here. I'm going to make it interesting. You picking the 49ers. Well, I'm going to have to go with the Detroit Lions here.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just, this is a nice, like, kind of like Cinderella moment for the Detroit Lions. 30 years since they've been to a Super Bowl or something like that. So this would be big if they go back to the Super Bowl. And like you said, it goes down to the quarterbacks here. Jared Goff and Brock Purdy. I trust Jared Goff more than I trust Brock Purdy. And I'm not a big Brock Purdy fan. He played for Iowa State. Not a big fan of that. I'm a Hawkeye fan over here. So, I'm biased here.
Weren't you the same one that said you like Iowa and Iowa State?
No, I never said it. I never said that. I never said
I
that.
thought you said that like a couple of years ago.
No, I like Iowa State when they're not playing my Iowa Hawkeyes. I'll cheer for them at any other time, but when they're playing my Hawkeyes, I can't cheer for them. I
Well,
cannot do that.
I'll tell you one thing. I won't never cheer for North Carolina State. I don't care how good they are. I don't care who they play. That's the same thing. Go with Ohio State too. Those bums. Anyway,
watch. I probably have Iowa State underwear on right now.
But anyway, for anybody who watch live, be sure to let me know whether that's by subscribing. You can do that if you haven't already, or you can go over on Twitter at FN Speaks Podcast and tweet me and let me know, or just leave a comment because you're already here anyway. So do that for me. Just say hey. You can say hey. You can say what's up. You can say anything you want to say. Just let me know you were here, because I definitely appreciate you for coming by. And Justin, I definitely appreciate you for coming by as well. As we wrap up, go subscribe to Juggernaut 097 real quick. I'm gonna let you let the people know what you do over there on what you do. So let them know, my friend. What can they expect if they go over the good old Juggernaut 097?
Yeah, so definitely go subscribe to Juggernaut 097. Got a lot of I talk about wrestling a lot on my channel. I talk about football a little bit. I haven't done that as of late. But I'm a big wrestling guy over there. Do a lot of reviews on my channel, predictions. I do retro reviews, vlogs. I got it all for professional wrestling. Hey, be on the lookout. be on the lookout for the Kingdom podcast. I mean, most people probably watching this here aren't Chiefs fans, but hey, if you enjoy your football talk, enjoy watching football talk, definitely, be on the lookout for the Kingdom podcast. I got some things coming.
I can confirm that Justin promoted that show before the season started. Actually, before the off season started last year, so probably almost a year to the day. So if you go over there and subscribe, it's going to encourage him to start this show. So be sure to do that thing. But
I still gotta get some not graphics. I still gotta get some intro stuff around. This jabroni right over here hasn't helped me out.
I tried. I gave him some tools. Okay, I gave him some tools for when I didn't have a chance to do it. But he didn't use my. Well, actually,
I need to use it.
I think it was broken.
It
was like it wouldn't let you log in.
I haven't tried it since. I need to go back and try it.
But be sure to check his channel out and also subscribe here as well if you haven't already. But we'll definitely see you guys on the next episode of Flock Nation Speaks. Remember, Flock Nation Speaks is on all major podcasting platforms. So if you haven't already, be sure to check us out over there. We is over there. We is over there. And we'll definitely see you guys on the next episode of Flock Nation Speaks. Until next time.